It began as a whisper in the void. Then it became a scream across the galaxy. The stars trembled. It started on the outer edges of the Orion Arm. A scout ship from the Corellian Empire was patrolling a dead sector when their sensors flared red. The crew barely had time to call for help before every system went dark. Engines failed. Lights flickered out. Then silence. When the Galactic Core Alliance received the distress signal, they sent a fleet of 70 ships. But none of them returned. In the following weeks, dozens of advanced civilizations reported the same thing. Fleets disabled. Planets plunged into darkness. Entire colonies lost contact with the wider galaxy. The scientists called it the pulse. It wasn't just energy. It wasn't a weapon they could understand. Something else, and then the message came. A repeating signal embedded in the pulse, a strange pattern of clicks and hums. No one could break the code. It's not the Alari, whose quantum computers solved equations faster than light. Not the Vorak, whose minds were linked in a psychic network. The Galactic Council gathered in fear. They declared the pulse a Class Omega threat, a force so dangerous. All species were ordered to retreat and hide. Lock down all travel beyond the core systems, said Counselor Varys, his reptilian eyes wide. Seal off the border worlds. If this thing comes for us, we must not provoke it. And so, the galaxy obeyed. They turned off their deep space scanners. They shut down their exploratory ships. They waited in silence, praying the pulse would pass them by. But one planet did not listen. In a small, cluttered lab on Earth, Dr. Alina Ruiz stared at her screen in disbelief. Her team at the lunar array had intercepted the pulse weeks ago. Unlike the alien supercomputers, their primitive human algorithms didn't crash. They churned away, slowly, painfully, and cracked the first layer of the signal. Alina leaned closer. The decoded message wasn't a threat. It wasn't gibberish. It was words. We see you. You are different. Come. Her heart pounded. She replayed it again and again. The message wasn't for the Chirellians. It wasn't for the Vorak. It wasn't for any of the great powers. It was for them. Alina picked up her cum and called General Marcus Hale of United Earth Command. General, she said, the pulse. It's not an attack. It's an invitation. General Hale listened grimly as Alina explained. The message addressed us directly, she said. And there's more. The pulse didn't disable any human ships. Our satellites stayed online. Even our deep space probes survived. That's impossible, Hale said. We're barely a century into spaceflight. The Corellians have ruled the stars for 10,000 years. Why would it talk to us? I don't know, Alina admitted. But if we don't respond, we might lose our only chance to understand. Hall walked to the viewport. Beyond Earth's oceans shimmered in blue and white. The Council will order us to stand down, he said. They want us to hide like frightened animals, maybe. Alina said softly. But that's never been humanity's way. Hale's eyes hardened. Then we'll do what humans have always done. Begin to his officers. Begin Project Resolute. Within weeks, United Earth Command announced its plan to send a single ship, the Resolute, into the unknown and find the source of the pulse. The Resolute was a miracle of human stubbornness and experimental starship. Equipped with a warp drive barely tested outside the solar system, it wasn't the fastest, wasn't the most powerful, but it had one advantage the galaxy didn't understand. Humans weren't afraid. Captain Elias Reyes stood on the command deck, staring at the stars. He was an Earthborn soldier who'd fought in the Jupiter rebellions, tall, broad-shouldered, with a scar running down his jaw. He wasn't a diplomat, wasn't a scientist, but he had what humanity needed most, now courage. His crew reflected Earth's defiance. Dr. Alina Ruiz, brilliant scientist who cracked the pulse. Lieutenant Aaron Kane, a former asteroid miner turned weapons officer. Specialist Yara Singh, an engineer who once rebuilt a fusion reactor with duct tape. And dozens more pilots. Medics, technicians. They weren't perfect, but they were human. As the Resolute prepared to launch, the Galactic Council sent their warning. Earth, said Counselor Varys in a broadcast that echoed across the stars. You are a young, fragile species. You do not understand the forces you're provoking. If you proceed with this mission, we will not protect you from what comes. Reyes smirked. Wasn't asking for protection, he muttered. The launch countdown began. 10, 9, 8. All across Earth, people held their breath. 3, 2, 1. The Resolute roared into the void, leaving blue fire in its wake. Days into their journey, the crew felt the tension grow. The deeper they traveled, the stranger the signals became. Stars flickered like dying candles. Energy surges rattled the hull, and every hour, the pulse grew stronger. At night, some crew swore they heard whispers through the comms. Alina, Reyes said. Are we sure this isn't some kind of trap? Alina shook her head. I don't know, she admitted. But if it is, it's the most patient trap I've ever seen. Then it happened. The Resolute's sensors lit up. The pulse shifted. Tone no longer just a signal, but something new. Captain, Yara shouted. We're receiving a transmission. From who? Reyes asked. Yara's voice trembled. From them, the source of the pulse. The bridge fell silent. The message came through the speakers. A low, resonant voice. Not mechanical, not alien, but somehow human. Resolute. You have come. You are the first. You are. Ready? Reyes stared in shock. Why us? He whispered. The voice replied, because you do not fear. And then every screen went white. In the heart of the galactic core, the Council of 12 gathered in a great chamber of crystal and light. Holograms of alien. Leaders flickered in the air-scaled reptiles. Feathered avians, beings of pure energy, all whispering in fear. The humans have gone too far, hissed Counselor Varys, his serpentine tongue flicking nervously. They sent a ship. They ignored the Omega Directive. And now the signal has spoken to them. They're provoking extinction, cried Counselor Alara, her insectoid mandibles clicking in agitation. The Vorix hive mind spoke in a single deep voice. They must be stopped or destroyed. A vote was called. Result? 11-1. The humans were to be ordered back. If they refused, the Council would send a fleet to blockade Earth. The galaxy would not let a reckless young species drag them all into the abyss. On Earth, news of the Council's ultimatum spread like wildfire. Abort the mission. Bow to the Alliance. Hide like the others. That's what the Council demanded. That's what every other species had done. But in a war room high above the Pacific Ocean, General Marcus Hale slammed his fist onto the table. Let me make this clear, he growled. Humanity will not cower, will not run. If we let fear control us, we don't deserve the stars. He turned to Dr. Alina Ruiz, who had decoded the original signal. Alina, are you sure the signal meant us? No harm? Alina hesitated. I can't be certain, she admitted. But I know this. It chose us for a reason. It spoke to humans. Not the Vorak. Not the Corellians. Us. Hale's eyes narrowed. Then we go forward, no matter what. Far from Earth, the Resolute drifted into uncharted space. Captain Elias. Reyes sat in his command chair, staring at the swirling darkness beyond the VIEWPOR. So far, the journey had been quiet. Too quiet, Captain, said Lieutenant Kane, his voice tense. Long-range scanners are picking up movement. Multiple contacts. Show me, Reyes ordered. Holographic projections flared to life. Half a dozen alien warships surrounded their position. The insignia of the Galactic Council glowed on their hulls. They've found us, Kane muttered. A transmission crackled through the comms, the cold voice of Counselor. Varys filled the bridge. Human vessel Resolute. You are in violation of Omega Directive 001. Turn back now. This is your only warning, Reyes smirked. Counselor Varys, he said calmly. This is Captain Reyes of the Resolute. With all due respect, we didn't ask for your permission to be out here. You are reckless, Varys hissed. The pulse is not an invitation. It is a death sentence. Do you wish to bring doom upon your fragile world? Reyes leaned forward. You know what I think? I think you're scared. You've been running. For so long you forgot how to stand. Do not test us, human. We will not hesitate to disable your ship and drag you back to Earth like a disobedient child. Reyes glanced at Kane, shields up, ready the countermeasures. Kane blinked. Sir, are we fighting the Council? Reyes smiled grimly. No, Lieutenant, we're just refusing to kneel. The alien ships powered their weapons. Bright blue energy gathered along their gun barrels. On the Resolute, alarms blared. Shields flickered. Captain, their weapons are far beyond ours, Yara Singh, the chief engineer, warned. We won't last 30 seconds in a firefight. Then we won't fight, Reyes said. He activated the comms. This is Captain Reyes of the Resolute. We are proceeding with our mission. If you attempt to stop us, know this. Humanity does. Not give up. Not to fear. Not to threats. Definitely not to cowards hiding behind big guns. There was a long pause on the line. Then Very spoke again, his voice dripping with venom. So be it. The blood of your species is on your hands. The alien ships powered down their weapons. Sir Kane whispered. They're letting us through. Reyes exhaled slowly. They're not letting us through. They're hoping we get ourselves killed. The Resolute resumed its journey, leaving the alien blockade behind. For days, the pulse grew louder. It thrummed through the hull like a heartbeat. At night, crew members began reporting strange dreams. Dreams of vast star fields, of colossal shapes moving in the dark, of voices whispering, Come closer. We are waiting. Only humans could hear it. Captain Alina said one night in the lab, her eyes wide, I think the signal is live. Reyes frowned. Alive? Like a person, not like us. Bigger, older. It doesn't just transmit, it thinks it chooses. Then came the moment they feared and hoped for. The pulse shifted. It no longer felt like random energy. It was a voice now, clear and deep, vibrating through every deck of the ship. Resolute. You are bold. You are curious. You are like the others. On the bridge, the crew stared at the speakers in shock. Is this real? Kane whispered. Elena's voice shook. Yes, it's talking to us. The voice spoke again. They hide in fear. But you come forward. Why? Reyes stood. Because someone has to, he said. We're not like them. We don't run. We stand. There was a long silence. Then the voice said, Then stand alone, for only humanity can hear me. Only humanity can decide. The Resolute drifted into the darkness. Behind them, the galaxy glimmered like a sea of diamonds. Ahead, nothing, no stars. No light. No sound. It was as if a vast hand had reached across space and swept the stars away, leaving only blackness. Captain Elias Reyes stood at the viewport, his jaw tight. Where are we? He asked quietly. Lieutenant Kane's fingers flew across the controls, but every scan came back the same. Sir, the maps don't recognize this region. It's like it doesn't exist. Dr. Alina Ruiz leaned over her console, eyes wide with awe and fear. This isn't just empty space, she said. It's a void. Something is consuming light itself. As the ship moved deeper, strange anomalies appeared. Time readings began to drift. Seconds felt like minutes. Instruments detected faint energy signatures, impossible to pinpoint. The crew grew restless at night. Whispers echoed through the halls. At first, they thought it was the ship's systems malfunctioning. But soon, they realized the voices weren't random. They spoke in hundreds of alien tongues, and then, disturbingly, in human languages. Elias. Come closer, Elena. We see you. Why do you seek us? Reyes called an emergency meeting. These hallucinations, he said. Is anyone else hearing them? Hands rose across the room. It's not the ship, Yara Singh, the engineer said nervously. Whatever's out there, it's talking to us. On the fourth day, the Resolute detected a massive structure drifting in the void. It was the size of a small Moonan alien beacon, cracked and half dead. but still broadcasting faint signals. As they approached, Elena gasped. "It's ancient," she whispered. "Millions of years old? Maybe more?" Reyes frowned. "Who built it?" Elena shook her head. "Not anyone we know. Not the Vorak. Not the Ilari. This is older than any of them." The beacon's signal pulsed weakly. Elena worked frantically to decode it. Then the screen lit up with a single message. "Welcome, humans. You are unexpected." As the crew watched in awe, the beacon's holograms came to life. They showed alien fleets, millions of ships, burning in firestorms. Whole planets crumbling into dust, and then something vast moving in the darkness, a shape so large it blocked out entire star systems. The recordings ended with a single warning, etched in countless languages. "IT comes. IT devours. Hide. Or perish." Elena's voice trembled. This is what the council was afraid of. Reyes clenched his fists. "Then why are we still here? Why didn't it attack us already?" Elena stared at him. "Because we're different." Suddenly, alarms blared. "Captain! Massive energy spike ahead!" Kane shouted. "Something's moving." The blackness itself began to shift. A glowing eye, the size of a planet, opened in the void. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a ship. It was alive. A voice thundered through every mind aboard the Resolute. "Who dares disturb my rest?" Crew members screamed. Some collapsed, clutching their heads. But Reyes stood firm. "We are humans," he said aloud, his voice shaking but steady. "We came to find you." The voice grew quieter, curious. "Humans, you are small, and yet you do not cower." Elena struggled to her feet, clutching her datapad. "Captain, I think I understand. It's not just physical. It attacks through thought, through fear. That's how it consumed those fleets." Reyes frowned. "Then why aren't we dead?" Elena's eyes widened. "Because human minds are noisy, chaotic. It can't control us like it did the others." The entity's voice boomed again. "You are perfect, unpredictable. You do not belong." Reyes stared into the swirling void. "Maybe we don't," he said. "We're here anyway." The entity stirred. Its massive form began to unfold, reaching toward the Resolute. "Captain," Yara shouted. "It's pulling us in." "Full reverse." Reyes barked. Engines screamed as the ship strained against the pull. Panels sparked. Lights flickered. "Not enough," Kane yelled. "We're not going to make it." Reyes slammed his fist on the console. "Divert all power. Engines. Shields. Everything." With a final surge, the Resolute broke free. The entity's voice echoed behind them. "Run, little humans." The others hid. And still they fell. Your kind will not last. As the Resolute fled the void, Reyes stared at the dark expanse behind them. "We're not like the others," he whispered. "We're not done yet. Far away. The entities I glimmered one last time. Then come and prove your worth. Some threats kill with guns. Others kill with fear. This one devoured entire stars." The Resolute floated silently at the edge of the void. Behind them lay the known galaxy, bright and vibrant. Ahead stretched a nightmare, the starless expanse where light itself seemed afraid to shine. Captain Elias Reyes leaned forward in his chair, his eyes fixed on the faint glow of a distant star. "Report," he ordered quietly. Lieutenant Kane adjusted the sensors, his hands trembling. "Sir, the star ahead just vanished." Reyes frowned. "Vanished as in went supernova." Kane shook his head. "No, sir, it didn't explode. It collapsed, like something ate it." A cold silence fell over the bridge. "Captain," Singh shouted from engineering, picking up massive gravitational fluctuations ahead. "Whatever's out there, it's moving fast." "Put it on screen," Reyes ordered. The viewport flickered to life. At first they saw nothing. Then a shadow moved across the starfield. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't an asteroid. It was alive. A colossal serpentine creature. so large it wrapped itself around entire star systems. Its body shimmered with dark energy. Wherever it passed, stars dimmed and vanished into blackness. Alina Ruiz clutched her datapad tightly. "My God," she whispered, "it's feeding." The crew stared in horror as the creature devoured another star. Energy flared along its body like ripples of molten glass. Once the light was gone, the creature turned, and its massive, glowing eyes locked. "On to the Resolute, sir?" Kane said hoarsely. "I think it sees us." The ship's comms crackled. A deep, guttural voice echoed through every speaker. "Trespass in my domain. I am the Maelstrom. I am the end of stars." Crew members clutched their heads as the voice reverberated in their skulls. Reyes gritted his teeth. "This thing, it's sentient." Elena nodded, her face pale, "and it's hungry." Captain Yara shouted, "It's moving toward us." "Fast, evasive maneuvers," Reyes barked. The Resolute's engines roared as the ship banked hard, fleeing into the void, but the Maelstrom was faster. Its tendrils lashed out, tearing through space like blades. Gravitational waves slammed into the ship, throwing crew members to the floor. Shields failing. Kane yelled, "We can't outrun it." Elena's fingers flew over her console. "Wait, I think it's probing us psychically, trying to paralyze us with fear." Reyes narrowed his eyes. "Then why are we still alive?" Elena's voice trembled. "Because we're human. Our minds are chaotic, unpredictable. It can't latch onto us like it does the others." "Use that," Reyes said. "Scramble every frequency. Push noise into every channel." The crew flooded the comms with human voices, music, and static. For a moment, the Maelstrom hesitated. "You are different." The creature recoiled slightly, as if confused. "Now's our chance." Reyes shouted, "Full burn! Get us out of here!" The Resolute surged forward, engines screaming at maximum power. Behind them, the Maelstrom let out a deafening roar that shook the entire ship. "Run, little humans." The others fled too. They died all the same. The ship burst out of the void, back into the faint light of the outer systems. For now, they were safe. In the aftermath, Reyes stood alone in his quarters, staring at a recording of the creature. "General Hale won't believe this," he muttered, but deep down he knew this wasn't over. Meanwhile, in Earth's high command, scientists analyzed the data from the Resolute. "This Maelstrom," Lena said over the comms, "it's more than a predator. It's a force of nature, and it's waking up." General Hale's face hardened. "Can we stop it?" Elena hesitated. "Don't know, but I think it fears us." As Reyes prepared for their next jump, the ship's systems suddenly froze, the lights dimmed, and then the Maelstrom's voice echoed one last time. "Humanity, you stand alone. Hide, or I will devour you last." As the Resolute vanishes into hyperspace, far behind them, the Maelstrom coils around a bright blue star, crushes it into nothingness. The galaxy thought it understood survival. But humanity was built different, in the heart of the galactic core. The Council of 12 met in secret. The Maelstrom's path of destruction had already claimed 3 major star systems. Fleets sent to intercept it had been wiped out without a trace. "Counselor," Varys slammed his clawed hand against the table. "Fools. I warned you all. The humans provoked it. And now we will all burn for their arrogance." "They survived their first encounter," said Counselor Ilara, her insectoid eyes narrowing. "Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps," hissed Varys, "they will lead it straight to us." The Vorik's hive mind spoke then, its voice a chorus of millions. "If humanity has a weapon, let them use it. But if not, they will perish, and we will remain hidden." Far from the core, the Resolute limped through the void. Sparks showered from damaged panels. Crew members moved like ghosts, their faces pale with exhaustion. In the medbay, Dr. Alina Ruiz reviewed her data. For days, she had studied the Maelstrom, its patterns, its strange psychic attacks, its terrifying ability to feed on entire stars. Then, she saw it, a faint ripple in the Maelstrom's energy field. Every time it tried to breach a human mind, Alina Reyes said as he entered, "Tell me you have good news." She looked up, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. "I think we're immune." Alina tapped her datapad, bringing up brainwave scans. The Maelstrom psychic field works by harmonizing with neural patterns. Once it locks on, it overwhelms the target with fear, paralyzing them. "And us?" Reyes asked. Alina smiled faintly. "Human brains are noisy. Our thoughts are chaotic, filled with static and contradictions. The Maelstrom can't establish a stable link. It's like trying to tune a radio in a hurricane." Raised an eyebrow. "So our greatest strength is that we're a mess." "Exactly." Elena's voice lowered. "Captain, I think we can use this against it. If we amplify human brainwaves broadcast, then we might be able to disrupt its field. Maybe even hurt it broadcast." "Our thoughts?" Reyes said. "Would that even work?" "I don't know," Alina admitted. "But it's the only advantage we have." For days, the crew worked tirelessly, using the Resolute's communication arrays and neural interface systems. They constructed a prototype device, the Mind Arsonate. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't pretty, but it was human held together with stubbornness and sheer desperation. As the device powered up for the first time, Yara Singh grinned. "Who'd have thought? Humanity's greatest weapon is our crazy heads." The ship's alarms blared suddenly. "Captain, massive energy spike." Kane shouted, "It's here." The void outside shimmered as the Maelstrom emerged from hyperspace. It was even larger than before. Tendrils of dark energy stretched across entire light years. The cums crackled and its deep, guttural voice echoed once more. "Humans, you escaped. Impressive. But there is no escape forever." Presence pressing on their minds, fear, doubt, hopelessness. But then, now, Reyes barked. Alina activated the mind Racinerd. At once a wave of human brainwaves surged out into space. Chaos, defiance, love, anger, all the messy signals of the human mind. The effect was instant. The Maelstrom's psychic pressure vanished. Like a blown fuse, its massive form writhed in confusion. "What is this?" it roared. Elena's fingers flew over the controls. "It's working," she shouted. "The field is destabilizing." Reyes stood tall, staring into the swirling darkness. "Yeah," he said. "We're in your head now." Maelstrom let out a deafening howl that shook the entire ship. "Humans, you are chaos." The creature recoiled, retreating slightly. Into the void. For the first time in eons, it felt something it didn't understand. "Pain, Captain." Yara cried, "The resonator's overloading. We're pumping too much power. Shut it down," Reyes ordered. Alina hesitated. "If we stop now, we might lose our only chance." Reyes slammed his fist on the console. "Do it." The final surge of energy, the resonator shut down. The Maelstrom floated in the distance, its vast form shimmering weakly. And then it spoke again. "Humans, you hurt me. No one has done that before." The Maelstrom's glowing eyes narrowed. For the first time, the Beast That Devours Suns felt fear. "Very well. Little Apex. Now, I will devour you last." As the Resolute fled into hyperspace, Reyes stared at the swirling void. "We made it bleed," he whispered. "Now we just need to figure out how to kill it. They heard it once. Now they're going straight into its heart." To finish the job, the Resolute floated in the emptiness between stars. The crew was quiet, exhausted. Repairs crews worked around the clock, patching burnt-out panels and rerouting power conduits. Captain Elias Reyes stood on the bridge, staring at the holomap of their enemy. The Maelstrom, the Beast That Devours. It had slowed its advance since the mine resonator attack. But deep scans showed it wasn't retreating. It was gathering strength. "How long do we have?" Reyes asked. Alina Ruiz shook her head. "Days, maybe hours. It's adapting to our brainwave interference. Next time the resonator might not work." Reyes turned to the crew. "Then we take the fight to it." Lieutenant Kane frowned. "Sir, are you saying?" You go inside that thing? Yes, Reyes said firmly. We're going to find its core, the thing's brain or heart, whatever it has, and destroy it. Yara Singh slammed her wrench on the table. With what, Captain? We've got a ship held together with duct tape and determination. Smirked. Then let's hope that's enough. The Resolute approached the Maelstrom cautiously. At this range, its sheer size was overwhelming. Tendrils of dark energy stretched across light years. It's coiling around entire systems like a predator around prey. Sir, Kane whispered, this isn't just a creature. It's a whole ecosystem. A living star system. Adisa. Weigh in, Reyes said. Alina pointed at a massive rift near one of the tendrils. There, a breach in its energy field. It looks unstable, but it might get us inside. Reyes nodded. As the Resolute crossed the threshold, the universe vanished. They were inside the Maelstrom now. The walls pulsed with a sickly reddish glow. Rivers of plasma flowed like blood through vast tunnels. Strange floating organisms drifted past the ship, some larger than cities, their translucent skin glowing faintly. Captain, Yara said nervously, I don't think this is just a body. It's a mind. Elena's voice was barely a whisper. We're inside its neural network. The comms crackled. A familiar voice echoed through the ship, not through the speakers, but directly in their minds. Sulfur monoxide. You come to my heart. The bridge lights flickered. Crew members clutched their heads as visions flooded their minds. A galaxy burning. Alien empires falling. The Maelstrom coiling around stars, crushing them to dust. You think your chaos will save you again? Humans? You are noise. Nothing more. Reyes stood tall. Then why are you talking to us? The Maelstrom paused. Because cannot understand you, and that makes you dangerous. Lena's fingers flew over her console. Captain, I'm mapping. It's neural currents. If we overload the right pathways, we might. The ship shuddered violently, sir. Kane shouted. It's trying to shut us down from the inside. All around them, tendrils of dark energy lashed out. The walls of the tunnel began collapsing. Hold her steady, Reyes barked. Lena, tell me you've got something. No. Resolute emerged into a massive chamber. At its center floated a glowing sphere, the size of a moon pulsing with energy. That's it, Elena whispered. The core. If we take it out, the Maelstrom dies, Captain Kane said. This feels too easy. It knows we're here. Why isn't it stopping us? Reyes narrowed his eyes. Because it's baiting us. Suddenly the core shifted. The sphere split open, revealing a swirling vortex of light and darkness. From within, figures began to emerge. Not alien, not monstrous. Human, exact duplicates. Of the Resolute's crew, stepping out of the light, Sir, Yara whispered. That's me. Doppelgangers spoke in unison. Their voices cold and hollow. We are you. Every fear, every doubt. You cannot defeat yourselves. The crew's doppelgangers advanced. Reyes drew his sidearm, aiming it at his double. This is just another trick, he said. Don't let it in your head. But crew members hesitated. The doppelgangers whispered their deepest fears. You'll fail, Reyes. You're not a leader, just a soldier playing hero. Alina, you're no savior. You'll kill them all trying to prove yourself. Kane, you're a coward. Always have been. As the crew stood frozen, the Maelstrom's voice boomed. Fight yourselves, or die here. The doppelgangers lunged forward. Reyes raised his weapon and screamed, We're human, and we don't break. The screen cuts to black. The galaxy feared the Maelstrom because it devoured everything, but the Maelstrom feared something too, humanity's will to fight. The Resolute's crew faced their greatest nightmare, themselves. Apt. Captain Reyes stared down his double identical. In every way, except for its cold, lifeless eyes. Dr. Elena Ruiz trembled as her copy whispered her deepest insecurities. Kane's twin smirked, stepping closer. You can't win, the doppelgangers said in perfect unison. We are every weakness you hide, every fear you bury. You'll destroy yourselves before you ever harm me. The Maelstrom's voice thundered through their minds. Fight or die here. Reyes gritted his teeth and raised his sidearm. You're not me, he said, his voice shaking. His double smiled. Aren't I? Every choice you regret. Every order that killed good men. I'm the real you. Reyes fired. The blast tore through his twin's chest. But instead of falling, the double melted into dark tendrils and reformed. Violence won't save you, Elias. You taught me that. Across the chamber, Elena's copy stepped closer. They'll all die because of you, Elena. You're too weak. It's too slow. Too, Elena screamed, clutching her head, but as the voices swirled in her mind, something strange happened, she felt. Resistance, not from the Maelstrom, from herself, Elena, Yara Singh shouted, blasting her own double with her rifle. It's in your head. Fight back. Suddenly, Elena understood. The Maelstrom. It doesn't understand us, she cried. Reyes dodged his twin's attack. What are you talking about? It's trying to use order against us. Logic. Fear. But human minds aren't logical. We're messy. Unpredictable. That's why we survived its psychic attacks. Elena, what do we do? Reyes barked. Don't fight it with anger or fear, Elena said. Feed it our chaos. Every random thought, every contradiction, overload its connection. Yara, Kane, Reyes shouted. Do it. One by one, the crew closed their eyes, and they began to think. Memories, random facts, emotions, jokes, songs. Kane thought of his first kiss. Otto remembered the smell of her grandmother's kitchen. Reyes whispered the lyrics to an old earth. Tune. The chamber shook violently. The doppelgangers screamed in agony. What is this? The Maelstrom howled. Stop it. Your minds are chaos. The doppelgangers flickered, their forms breaking apart. As the doubles disintegrated, the core's glowing sphere pulsed wildly. It's vulnerable, Lena shouted. Now's our chance. Reyes grabbed the coms. All weapons. Fire at the core. The Resolute's cannons blazed. Bolts of energy slammed into the core. Cracks spiderwebbed across its surface. The Maelstrom roared in pain. You. Dare, but still it wasn't enough, Captain Yara screamed. The core's collapsing. If it goes, this whole chamber will implode and take us with it. Reyes stared at the crumbling core. We can't stop now, he said. Finish this, even if it kills us. As the core began to shatter, the Resolute was pulled into a massive energy vortex. The Maelstrom's voice echoed one last time. If I fall, I will take you all with me. The screen cuts to black. The galaxy thought humans were too young, too weak, too chaotic. But chaos was exactly what the universe needed. The Resolute hurtled through a collapsing tunnel of energy all around them. Fragments of the Maelstrom's core exploded into glowing debris. Tendrils of black energy lashed out violently, trying to crush the tiny human ship like an insect. Shields at 12%. Kane shouted over the alarms. We're not going to make it. Captain Reyes gripped the console, knuckles white. Yes, we are, he growled. We came here to end this and we're not leaving until it's done. In engineering, Yara Singh worked furiously, her hands flying across the controls. Captain, the mind resonators fried. But if we route the entire reactor output into a focused pulse, Lena Ruiz's eyes widened. You're talking about turning the ship into a psychic bomb. It's suicide, Kane said. It's survival, Reyes countered. He looked each of them in the eye. We didn't come this far to run. If we have to burn ourselves out to kill this thing, so be it. As the crew prepared the pulse, Elena uploaded the Resolute's logs into a probe. Send this back to Earth, she whispered. They need to know, even if we don't make it. Buddies nodded, double quotes. Make sure they remember who stood tall. The Maelstrom's voice thundered through the ship, deeper and more furious than ever. Humans, you will not win. I have existed since before your son was born. You are nothing. Reyes stared into the swirling blackness on the view screen. Maybe. We're nothing, he said, but even nothing can burn. Firing pulse in 3, 2, 1. Da! The Resolute's reactor roared to life. A wave of raw human brainwaves memories. Dreams, laughter, love, hate erupted outward, slamming into the Maelstrom's core, the monster screamed, "No, no, you're chaos." It burns. Cracks split across its vast form. Stars trapped in its tendrils flared back to life as its grip weakened. The core shuddered violently, collapsing inward. "I am eternal." With one final psychic scream, the Maelstrom imploded in a blinding flash of light. Then, silence. For the first time in eons, the galaxy was free. The Resolute floated in the wreckage, systems dark. Reyes coughed, blood on his lips, but he smiled faintly. "Status," he rasped. Kane looked around, amazed. "Sir, we're alive." Lena laughed weakly, tears streaming down her face. "We did it. We actually did it." Weeks later, Earth received the probe's transmission. On screens across the planet, Reyes' final words echoed. "This is humanity's message to the stars. We don't run. We don't bow. We stand tall even when the galaxy trembles." The recording ended with a simple line: "The Maelstrom is dead. The stars are free, and humans are just getting started." Far beyond the Milky Way, in the deep void between galaxies, something vast stirred. A voice, older than time, whispered, "So, the humans won. Interesting." A glowing eye opened in the darkness. "Let's see how far they can stand against us."